I bid you all good morning, good evening, and good night. Welcome to Bullcrap in the News. We're looking at bullcrap in the news because people are asking for it by popular demand. What kind of crap are they trying to tell us? What kind of crap are they trying to feed us, most importantly? And what kind of crap are they trying to sell us? Let's take a look in bullcrap in the news. Now, I am your host, Mike Martin. Mike Martin. Sorry, I got my name wrong. And today's my birthday. It's March 10. March 10, I just remembered. My family reminded me this morning that I turned 43 today. And it's a good reminder, but you kind of want to forget after you pass 35. But that's okay. Bullcrap in the news. What is going on? So let's, guys, don't forget to go ahead and set your reminders for our upcoming shows and upcoming streams and events and stuff. Be part of it. We do live call-ins. We do have a live show. We do call-ins, and we do all kinds of cool stuff here if you guys want to be part of the show and set your reminders. Also, guys, if you want to send me show tips, send it to me on my Instagram. Go ahead. It's Mike Martin's Official. Send me your show tips here, and we will basically, I'll read them or see if I'm allowed to read them on bullcrap in the news. All right. First one here is from the London Economic. 61-year-old woman fined £10,000 for organizing a protest against 1% pay raise for nurses. So there's been a huge protest right now, and a lot of people don't know that England is selling portions of its healthcare system off to a private sector, China. But anyways, to a private sector that's going to buy off England's healthcare system. There's been a big dispute over this, and it's going to come to Canada when they can't afford their own or supporting their own healthcare or whatever. It's going to come to a lot of countries. So you're seeing it first here in England. So now this woman here is protesting the 1% pay raise for nurses when the price of homes in the last year alone have gone up 14% in London alone. So the price of housing has gone up substantially, and hardworking people just can't afford to live in their own cities, and that's why they have to commute for 3 hours. The organizer of the protest against the government's proposed 1% pay raise for the NHS workers has been fined £10,000. Greater Manchester Police GMP said the 61-year-old woman was issued with the fixed penalty notice for breaching COVID-19 rules in public gatherings. So there you go. No more clamping, no more empty gestures, increasing wages, fund our NHS. So there it is. We've been talking about this for a while because this is a major deal, and people that have socialized medicine in their countries like Canada and Australia, they're going to be hit with a rude awakening in the next couple of years when they find out that their governance or the taxes they pay are no longer covering it. It's a private organization that's going to be taking care of it. China. All right, let's move on. So here it is. Rex Murphy is reporting here for the National Post. Now that Pepe Le Pew has been canceled, who will be next? Marge Simpson. So there it is right there, the cancel culture. It's great. My children now will be safe now that Pepe Le Pew has been canceled. My kids could go back and playing Grand Theft Auto and blowing up cars and setting fire to private property and beating up on people. Thank God for that. Let's move on. And this one's kind of important. High Court halts transfer of info on unvaxxed to local authorities. So now they're moving around with information, finding out who is vaxxed, who isn't vaxxed, who is allowed on specific parts, specific properties, who isn't allowed. And they're going to start pushing this COVID thing. This is coming out of Israel. And I told you guys, folks that something major is happening in Israel. Something very major is happening. And to be honest, guys, it's scary. It's very, very scary. Let's move on. Modified RNA has a direct effect on DNA. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's so good that they finally figured that. Wow, it took that long to figure this out, eh? An article titled M6A RNA modification as a new player in the R-loop regulation by the Dynamic Gene Regulation Research Group. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Look, guys, when you start changing or modifying your DNA, guess what? You put, what do you call those? adjusters in there and modifiers in there and all kinds of weird crap and poisons. Well, what do you think is going to happen? Okay, anyways, let's keep going here. So there's lots of crap they're trying to sell us. So this is good. At least they are. He believes that the discovery will provide health services with important tool, since many studies have shown that regulation of modifications of RNA is important for development of cancer. So there it is. There is the RNA. There it is right there. Let's go over his article scan here so you can see it better. There it is. There's the splicing. There's the export translation, degradation, and the mRNA. And then this is how they basically, he's interweaving our DNA. And what they're trying to do is they're going to try to splice it and cut it and play God. That was a wet fart right there. And that's the crap they're trying to feed us here. Pesticides turn male frogs into females. Oh my God, it's evolution. Oh my God, it's evolution. Look at that. Evolution. That was a nuclear fart. Let's move on. This one's kind of... Wow, that was big for that one. Holy crap. That was actually pretty big for that. Okay, government announces new curbs on right to protest. This is very serious. Let's go to article scan here. So governments now are announcing new curbs on the right to protest. Look at this. The UK government has announced changes to public order legislation that will give the police greater powers to restrict protests. This is coming across the Commonwealth. This is a major issue. All English-speaking countries, be prepared that you will not have the right to assemble. We'll go back to our first article in case you were asleep. There it is right there. And they're going to find ways to stop you. 61-year-old woman fined £10,000 for organizing protests against 1% pay raise for nurses. And because of the COVID restrictions, of course, the COVID restrictions, it's kind of in the air there because England's living in a completely different world right now. They're pushing for mail-in ballot systems. Of course, they want to do what they did in the U.S. Wet fart to that. And they want to do what they did in the U.S., and they're going to push for mail-in ballots. So is Canada, and they're pushing for snap elections and using taxpayers' money to go back to the polls, where we can't go back to the polls because it's very dangerous to go and vote in person in Canada. So let's move on. So there it is. There's a lot of truth to that. Government curbs new protests. COVID in many countries, right? COVID will not go away. COVID will be around for many years to come until they start implementing more rules and more segregation and more separation and more division. All right, let's move on. U.S. Navy controls inventions that claim to change the fabric of reality. Now, you know, there's teleporting device, all kinds of weird stuff they're working on. Inventions that revolutionary potential made by the mysterious aerospace engineer for the U.S. Navy might come to light. So there it is. U.S. Navy hold patents for enigmatic inventions by aerospace engineer. And Pies came up with technology that can engineer reality, devising an ultra-fast craft, a fusion reactor, and more. While mostly theoretical at this point, the inventions could transform energy, space, and military sectors. Of course, key word. So among Pies' other patents and inventions stem from similar thinking, outlining pieces of technology necessary to make his creations come to fruition. His paper, presented in 2019, titled Room Temperature, a subconducting system for use in hybrid aerospace undersea craft. I don't know if anyone bought that book, but I can't even pronounce the title. Okay. Proposes a system that can achieve superconductivity and room temperatures that become highly disruptive technology capable of a total paradigm change in science and technology, says Covey Pius. So why the hell do they want to go ahead and create this if it's going to create such disaster in our world? It makes no sense. It makes zero sense. Why would they do something like this? This deserves a nice wet fart. Well, if you know it's going to destroy, and they go into all these different patents and all kinds of weird stuff and stuff that's gonna shape and warp our futures, Why would they bother? Well, we're going to have to. We're humans. We love to explore. We love to take over. We love to. Yeah, let's move on. Government issues at least 15 tickets to travelers who won't quarantine. So if you're in Canada and you don't want to quarantine, well, the rest of America is completely opening up and people are protesting. And now they're suing the WHO for all this stuff that's been happening. Canada will remain in this paradigm shift. Now, what's this saying here? 11 Iranians arrested in Arizona after jumping U.S.-Mexico border. Wow, Iran is a special interest country for border apprehensions because of the nexus terrorism, though there was no mention of these concerns in relation to this group. Well, don't worry, guys. If you're living in Iran or anywhere else, it'll get a little bit easier now under the Biden administration, now that they're going to start taking down the walls. So there it is right there. Let's move ourselves on. Here we go. True North. Alberta drops. Let's go to full article scan here. Alberta drops multiple fines issued to anti-lockdown protesters. So anti-lockdown protesters are dropping fines. Canadians have a right to an opinion. Yes, they do. If you go back to I made a video the other day that's actually very important, where websites were created about me, calling me the merit molester and all this other stuff and trashing me because I opened a business in my town similar to one in existence here in town. So go ahead and click up there if you want to watch the merit harassment series. And every time I get told off on camera, I have it on camera. Every time I get my family gets told off, every time we get threatened in public by the same person, of course, the police tell us and get cease and desist. I'm getting sued for opening a business. Now, every time I go to the police, they say they are forming an opinion. So here it is. Canadians have a right to form an opinion. There it is right there. You have a right to form an opinion. So it's happened to me, so it should be able to, happen to everybody else. So you have a right to form an opinion. It is normal to feel a bit unwell after the COVID injection. So this is what you will find. This is BBC? Yeah, BBC is reporting. You will get body aches, fever, headache, sore eyes, nausea, a temperature, and freezing cold extremities. Oh, yeah. Go ahead and take that. It'll make you feel good. Let's move on here. So, lawyers. This is coming from Achur Shiva 7. Lawyers to sue WHO for misleading world over COVID outbreak. So, you remember how back in January, the WHO was on the fence to report it as a pandemic, and nobody really knew it was happening? Well, that's why. Zombie preparedness. Yeah, this is going everywhere. This is the CDC, Centers for Disease Control Prevention, is actually reporting this. You can't make this stuff up. Let me bring this down. There it is. The CDC is actually reporting this. And it goes into other stuff, a preparedness graph novel, and then it goes into preparedness. And why is this on a CBC website? What are they trying to prepare us for? Here it is. There's the zombie apocalypse has begun in Toronto, Canada. So I think this is a way of protesting. So there it is there. They're going around town. They're going around Toronto, and they are basically going around major malls. They're all shut down, and they're just going around doing this zombie movement. This will work for a music video of some sorts. I think that's pretty cool. All right, let's give them a round of applause for that. To creating awareness. All right. So let's go into here. What does it say here? Jay Bhattacharya, Sanford doctor, calls lockdowns the biggest public health mistake we've ever made. So they're coming to it. There it is. Open up America. I stand behind him in my comment that the lockdowns are the single worst public health mistake in the last 100 years. We will be counting the catastrophic health and psychological harms imposed on nearly every poor person on the face of the earth for a generation. But luckily, Donald Trump was part of the administration when this happened, so they could just blame him, because they're going to be blaming him. I told you guys, they're going to be blaming the Trump administration for the next 100 years to come. No one's going to be at fault for anything. Nobody going forward will be at fault for anything. Yeah, they're just going to go back and blame the past. Even though we're always repeating the past for some reason, All right. True North is reporting, let's go to full article scan here. Trudeau government promises to raise immigration rates by 117%. So Canada has been competing for a lot of wealthy investors from China, and now with this whole Hong Kong thing, they're going to start raising immigration rates, and and it's going to basically price out people. Like, so the Raven was on Mike in the Night, and he said that people, middle class, will be priced out of food very soon. So we'll see what happens with that, if that's going to happen. I hope it doesn't happen. We've been priced out of our housing. I even stopped doing trends in the housing market because of that. It's been going on for 10 years, and there's been no correction in sight. But these people here don't have to worry where they're going to get their next meal, right? Trudeau's Liberal agency approves $3 billion in loans to China. There it is. Data obtained through Access of Information Act request revealed that the bank provided $3.2 billion in loan guarantees in various forms and insurance in 2020. That $3 billion would have housed a lot of our homeless, eliminated the opioid crisis, and would have basically created a lot of new jobs and created a good, prosperous Canada for our next generation. But they don't think the next generation anymore. All right. What does this say? Parents refusing COVID school testing for children. Oh, yeah. My children are not going to be tested for that.
AI has a goal.
I don't know why this says. So Elon Musk is a few days ago saying that basically Neuralink will change will change humanity. So they're pushing this Neuralink science. This is good. Let's go to full page here. World's first space hotel to begin construction in low Earth orbit in 2025, complete with restaurants, cinemas, and rooms for up to 400 guests. So there it is. Where's the photo? There it is right there. They are looking to do this. Instead of fixing the problems we have on Earth, we're just going to get the heck out and stay in a hotel in space, right? So there it is there. There's your views right there. Unfortunately, this is only going to be for real estate agents and mortgage brokers and elected officials are the only, and selected officials are the only ones that will be using this, because when people get priced out of food, the first thing they're going to be thinking is buying a ticket to stay in this hotel that probably cost you 20, 30 grand a day. Let me know what you guys think on this one. World's Earth Space Hotel. I don't mind something like this, provided that things are good on Earth, or at least semi-workable on Earth. But we can't even, we're canceling Pepe Le Pew. What does that tell you about where things are headed? Where things are headed good at all? So here it is. Real News Australia. Health Minister. Whoa, what is this? Oh. Health Minister Greg Hunt hospitalized for suspected infection. Nobody cares. Doctors, healthcare workers to be punished for how do I say this? Injection claims. So there it is. A national media broadcast, medical boards in Australian health practitioner regulatory agency released joint directive warning healthcare practitioners that the risk regulatory action if they spout false or deceptive misinformation to patients. So there it is there. You could do time in prison. Oh, there it is. There's all Scotty Morrison. There's the Prime Minister. There he is right there. There it is. There's one right there. And there's a reverb. Scotty. Yeah, I think he's got, his approval rating is less than 5% from what I heard in Australia. If you're watching this from down under, let us know in Australia if the Scotty's approval rating is at less than 5% from what I've been hearing. All right, let's move on. Trudeau brands Canada systematically racist, approves $3 billion loan to China. We covered that already, and we know that's what's going on here. This is from the Hindu Times. Analysis with media blitz, China crafts a new narrative on border crisis. Oh God, what is China doing? Over the past 24 hours, the Indian embassy in Beijing received thousands of messages in its mentions of Weibo, the Twitter equivalent used in China, more than it ever received in one day. Most of them were angry, abusive, from Chinese internet users expressing their anger following the announcement made on Friday morning of the deaths of 4 soldiers in the Gallian Valley clash took place 8 months ago. What about the 4 people that are dying every other second in China from starvation? I don't know if they're going to look into that. And loud fart. Yeah, they're not looking into that, are they? Yeah. They're looking into things to get people on each other, to get people beating each other up. And milk prices. Oh, this is a big deal. It starts in these countries. Milk prices may rise by 12 rupees a liter starting March 1st. That is a big deal because you start seeing the poorer countries or the countries where people are just getting by where the price of food starts going up. Even though the price of oil is going up, they're going to blame that on the price of food. You remember that? So anyways, platforms will require, so this is coming out, this is an important one out of India. Guys, pay close attention to this. Pay very close attention to what they're saying. Government announces new social media rules to curb its misuse. Watch this. The center on Thursday notified new stricter guidelines for social media intermediaries that will make it mandatory for platforms such as WhatsApp to aid identifying originator of unlawful messages. Platforms will be required to provide information including related to verification identity to lawfully unauthorized agencies within 72 hours. So India is really pushing hard for this. So they're really censoring, and so is Canada. So, and what else we got here? Modi's farmer laws masterstroke, direct bank transfers from MSPs for Punjabi farmers. So what's going on? Lots going on where there's over 100 million, they say 250 million people protesting, and this has been very silent in the media, of course, because it's going to go against all forms and states and different dissections of democracy. Shoot, that was a bad one. All right, so here it is, guys. This is kind of important. Earlier this month, the Food Corporation of India's FCI Punjab office wrote to the Director of Food Civil Supplies that the Consumer Affairs in order to request the land records of farmers to ensure direct bank transfers of MSPs for the approaching procurement season. The land records have been made mandatory for wheat procurement and most updated for the consummation of the RMS. So they're basically taking land away from farmers, and basically government's taking over. So that's that there. Let's go to our Florida man. Sorry, guys. Had to sneeze there. And before we go to Florida man, FC Porto, my team, we beat Juventus yesterday. What a beautiful game in 2 aggregated games, and we won in Italy. FC Porto, Forza pa Franci. All right, Forza pa Frente, Porto. All right, let's move on. Florida man strikes again. Here it is, guys. Let me open this up so you guys can get a very clear view on what Florida man's been up to. Look at this. Florida man strikes again as Ford Fusion dangerously transports ladder. That's the ladder. Now, that's the ladder. That right there. So imagine a motorcyclist or somebody, you know, those guys that cut through the lanes. Oh my God. Look at that. Regardless of today's example, Florida man doesn't need to bother with such things. No, he's figured out an ingenious way around the limitation of Fusion's cargo capacity by simply rolling down the rear windows and letting the ladder hang out of both sides of the car. Problem is, it creates a bit of dangerous situation. So there it is. Florida man is back at it. There he is. Florida man. So I kind of wanted to end it with the Florida man discussion piece here for you guys. And this is crap in the news, guys. Look forward to reading all your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe. Share this video because nobody knows we even exist. And we look forward to reading your comments. This is Mike Martin signing off from our newsrooms here. Don't forget to subscribe, be part of the channel, and tell your friends about this crap. It's actually pretty good stuff. I have spoken.